I think picking the right market is a big thing that you can finally do right now. For the last several years, probably a decade really, you could not be very picky about what you bought. And there's markets now where I'm seeing like 7 active listings and 1 pending. Real estate agents are still just as incompetent, as incapable as they've ever been. I mean, I literally had an agent trying to sell one of my homes that never put the square footage of the property into the MLS. And it sat there for several weeks till I finally looked it up and was like, it doesn't even show how many square feet it is. It just shows a couple little lines on Zillow, right? And this is supposed to be a top producer, so.
David Greene, man, thanks for coming on the show for a quick 5 to 10 minute episode. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's nice to see you here. It's always a good day when I get to look at your handsome face.
That's good, man. All right, couple quick questions for you. First of all, I mean, I think everyone knows who you are, but 30 seconds. Who are you? What do you do?
Boy, I do a whole lot of things. I've lived like 4 lifetimes in my short life. I'm a former police officer. I'm a disciple of Jesus. I am a real estate broker. I'm a real estate investor. I own a couple mortgage companies. I write books. Basically, I do everything that you did, but not as good and half as much.
But much better looking. So, there's that.
Also debatable. I'm more humble than you are. I can say that confidently.
I'm the most humble person in the world, man. I mean, you look up the definition of humble, it's just a handsome picture of me in the dictionary. It's wild. All right. Question for you, David. What is working for you in 2025? Like, there's a lot of things not working. People complain and we've all got hard times. What is working when it comes to like real estate strategy?
I think picking the right market is a big thing that you can finally do right now. For the last several years, probably a decade really, you could not be very picky about what you bought. And there's markets now where I'm seeing like 7 active listings and 1 pending. That inventory is growing significantly. The buyer pool is kind of hesitant about jumping in. And if you pick the right market, you could get into grade A neighborhoods that you never had any shot of getting into, get really good real estate. You don't have to overpay. You actually can underpay some of the time. You don't have to worry about waiving contingencies. You can take your time and really, really nab a good deal. And then you also have the additional potential upside of rates dropping at some point and sweetening it even more.
I do not disagree, man. What about like finding deal wise? Is there anything that's working right now that you see in the market that's working for finding deals? Is the MLS back? Not yet. What do you think?
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's always going to be some market where it's not going to be applicable, but I would still say the MLS is working at a point now that it hasn't worked. Like, you're literally seeing houses sitting on the market 30, 60, 90, 120 days sometimes, where you can go in there and you can write an aggressive offer, or you can get a property that you just never even would have had a chance of getting. And guess what? Real estate agents are still just as incompetent, as incapable as they've ever been. I mean, I literally had an agent trying to sell one of my homes that never put the square footage of the property into the MLS. And it sat there for several weeks till I finally looked it up and was like, it doesn't even show how many square feet it is. It just shows a couple little lines on Zillow, right? And this is supposed to be a top producer. So if you're out there looking at houses on the MLS like you should be, you finally have a chance to get something rather than having to work through some like shady wholesaler that you don't know and you don't have a relationship with.
I agree. What about for financing? 2025, what works in financing these days? What do you see?
You got more options than you ever did before. You can do conventional loans like you could always do. And if you do a good job with your taxes, your CPA will have the majority of what a lender would need. You've got DSCR loans, which is what I've been using most of the time, where they calculate your income. They calculate your ability to borrow based on what the property is going to produce instead of what you yourself are going to produce, which is just a more sensible way of doing a loan if you're buying investment property. Commercial has done this for years and now it's made its way into residential. But if it's a single family house, you can get a 30-year fixed rate instead of a 25-year AM with like a 5-1 ARM or a balloon payment or something that just makes it much harder to buy real estate. I think that's working. And as people are looking to save money themselves, because a lot of people are feeling the crunch of inflation, their expectations of what they need in a property they rent have gone down. It used to be like everybody wanted a swanky condo in downtown Austin and they weren't going to live anywhere else. They were all crushing it in the tech industry and they had so much money. Well, now people are willing to rent a room if they're going to save some money. And they're actually a lot of the time spending more time at their job trying to make more money because times are tough. So it's opened up the door to do stuff like rent by the room and medium-term rentals that you really had a hard time filling those spots when the economy was really good and people were pickier about where they lived.
So true. All right, this is more of a broad question. In your life, 2025, what's working right now for you? Like what just in your life is working?
I think that I am sensing the spiritual battle that we all live in every single day, much more than I ever had before. I'm seeing a lot of the things that used to frustrate me about the culture that we live in that you could call toxic or unhealthy. And I'm seeing that there's actual spirits behind that. And there is a battle over the souls of the people that's always existed, but it's heating up. When you look at what some of the like young people are being taught or what they're looking to do, this obsession that everybody has with wanting to be an influencer, the spirit of hopelessness and despair that's sitting over so many people, I'm finally understanding where that comes from. And I'm sort of in a really good place as far as fighting against it. Just recognizing what it is and cutting off the roots that has in my own life and the lives of people that are around me. So I'm listening to a lot more sermons. There's a lot of biblical scholars are out there that I didn't know that will actually help break down what the Hebrew and the Greek meant in the Bible. So if that's something you're interested in and you're like, man, my relationship with God is just always up and down, or it's inconsistent, or if I'm being honest, I just feel like God wasn't there for me and I don't really know what that means. I feel like I'm making progress with some of those questions and doubts that I've had, more than what I would have said when business was really good and the economy was really churning along.
That's cool, man. I know I was on your show earlier interviewing you. Have if somebody DMs you a certain word, you're starting some group for Christian real estate people, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah, it's just faith. If you send me the word faith, you'll get a link and I'll be doing free webinars to explain it. It's mostly for people that are like, really, if we're just being honest, a lot of Christians that are out there, we don't really know what that word means. A lot of people get burned by somebody who says they're a Christian. There's no Christian police that walk around making sure that if somebody uses that phrase, they're actually doing well. And a lot of people sort of pray what we call the sinner's prayer, where they say, I'm accepting Jesus into my heart. He's been bugging me about it forever. Fine, I guess I'll let him in. I hope he doesn't try to move things around too much. As opposed to when you read the Bible, Jesus was like, hey, are you going to leave everything and follow me? It's a much different perspective. And I think a lot of people pray that sinner's prayer. They go up on that altar call. They hear about Jesus and they know there's something there. They're interested in it, but they don't make a serious effort to follow him. And I recently looked up what the original word for faith meant in the Bible. You and I talked about this, and it's pistis, and it comes from the root word pietho, which is to be persuaded or to persuade. And I realized that the reason so many of us struggle in our faith is we put zero effort into being persuaded that Jesus is even the person that we want to follow. We just prayed some sinner's prayer and hope that magic would settle over us and our life would be different. So this is about people that are like, hey, I want to be serious about that. I want to learn who he is and what it means to follow him. And I want to make that a priority. And I'll be leading group discussions and book reviews and videos and Bible studies themselves.
Very cool, man. I just got finished reading John Mark Comer's Practicing the Way. And it's a lot about that. Like Christianity shouldn't be, or your faith, shouldn't be just one other part of your life. Like that is your life. And then everything else gets filtered through that. That's why it's like the way, like this is how you live. Anyway, super good.
That's what Christians used to say they were following before they were called Christians.
Yeah, they're following the way.
Yep.
It's just like,
this is the
way of living. All right, man. Appreciate you. Where do you want people to follow you at? Where do they connect with you?
Follow me at David Greene 24 on Instagram, or follow the David Greene Show on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube.
Perfect. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, bro.